All right, let's get her rolling. Let's. Hey, so let me be clear about a couple quick things, right? So I've said this a lot. I'm sure I probably don't need to say it again, but I'm going to say it again just so we're all really clear. So, when you're in class, you're using the Top Hat app. Use the app on your phone. Make sure that you got it, have it down, right? So, it's not. We'll always announce when it's going to go up, so you don't have to be sitting waiting for it. If you're not in class, that's when you go on Canvas and take the quiz, okay? First thing. Second thing is the second block, the email invitation to start the second block schedule dialogues, world and conversation dialogues for block 2. Came out, should have come out, right? Did it come out? Okay. Don't waste time on that. If you didn't do it in the first block, you need to do 2 in the next couple of blocks. Spread them out. You need to make it up. So don't ever do a dialogue if you have to make one up. Don't ever do it like back to back. Okay. First round, we're letting you make it up, but we're not after that. And you understand, it's really clear. Right? There are 6 blocks, 6 dialogues, 1 dialogue per block. 5 dialogues are local, 1 dialogue is global. You can do your global in any one of the 5 blocks. It doesn't really matter. Some of you did it already in block 1, so now your next 5 dialogues are going to be local. Does that make sense? It's all easy, right? Okay, awesome. So, hey, so we're gonna go in a slightly different direction today. I think. I don't know. I never really know, but I think it's slightly different. We just want to talk about bodies, and I want to talk about some of the larger conceptual questions, and just to kind of walk through some stuff, right? So here's the thing. This is a really highly. We'll introduce you in a hot minute, all right? But so it's just a really increasingly difficult to talk about anything related to race, which is why people are so struck by the fact that we have this class and there's so many people and we talk about these issues. It's because we do it openly and because they're so controversial. It's like you say the slightest wrong thing and suddenly it's a big problem and like, oh my God, the fact that we're even talking about it, the fact that we're pointing it out, the fact that we're just directly addressing a lot of issues is in some ways is really striking, right? And I don't know, I was listening to somebody, a professor who recently resigned, not from Penn State, from another university, because he just can't take it anymore. All the political correctness and all the ways in which, people are attacking him just because he's willing to raise questions about things, that somehow people think you shouldn't raise those questions and you can't even ask them, and it's like certain things are off limits, and like, oh my God. And he just said, F it, I'm out, man. He just dropped Mike and left the academy. And I have a sense of how it is that people do that. 37 years I've been in this business, and I notice it changing. It's like people are much more sensitive. This current class that we're doing, almost, not the last couple times, but before that, probably 4 classes in a row, I got reported to the Office of Hate at Penn State simply because we were... can you believe I got reported to the Office of Hate at Penn State? And what is that? You know what I mean? Because we were looking at people, at our bodies. We were talking about bodies, and about differences in our bodies. And just different body types, hair, nose, eyes, physical stature, whatever it is, skin, lips, ears, brow bones, we're just looking at it. And somehow people felt like somebody, it could just be one person, but whatever, can you not report me to the Office of Hate here? Can no one do that today? Like, I don't need an email tomorrow afternoon. Like, what the fuck, right? So, because what we talked about and what I was saying was, hey, let's look at let's look at this. Let's look at our bodies. Let's look at the differences. Why is it that we see certain body types in certain areas of the world? And how is it that we come to have different shapes of noses and eyes and types of hair and all of these things? These are really fascinating questions. But what has happened over time is we've taken what is, like, look at these three lovely human beings right here. You got a shot? Dude, look at this. Okay. They're different, right? You can't, okay, they all have face masks on, so you can't fully, but they're different. And you know that they're like, okay, you don't know where they come from in the world, but you know that their ancestors originated from certain geographic areas of the world. When I look at them, I think, whoa, yeah, where'd you get that hair? Where'd you get the nose? Where'd you get your eyes? Where'd you get your hair? Where'd you get your eyes? Like, what, all of it, right? Like, I'm fascinated by this because it's what I study. And I'm really curious. And what I tell people is pay attention to these things. Like, really pay attention, because it's a fascinating sociological, biological, and scientific exploration of human beings. But what has happened is, over time, politics has gotten in the way, and people have started to stratify certain body types. That certain ways, certain shapes of a nose or an eye or ears or whatever it is, lips and mouth structure, however it is, certain are better than others. And then certain types are more valuable than others, and certain ways of being are more beautiful, and whatever it is, certain ways of certain bodies, right, are more beautiful and just overall better. And then once that happens, it's like, it's game over, because now you can't even talk about it anymore, because everything is so highly politicized. Like, for example, to point out that somebody has really, really thin lips. Like, my wife has really, really thin lips. Like, she basically her lips are inside of her mouth, right? Like, the part that we identify as the lip part is inside of her mouth. And, like, it's perfect. She has perfect lips because they're her lips. And for the areas of the world from which her ancestors come, we tend to see that happening more. We tend to see it as a more common lip occurrence. And other people have lips that are much more on the outside of the mouth. So you really see the entire lip. Hers, you see no lip. Other people, you see their entire lip. So then you think, oh, okay, that's awesome too. Perfect lips, because it's what it is. Because that's the area of the world. That, for whatever reason, life selected for that, in that area. But what happens is certain lips or certain people become caricatured, become talked about as better or worse or bad or good or ugly or beautiful. And then once that happens, you can't talk about any of it anymore. It's off limits. Especially if you talk about something that has been perceived to be as negative or less valuable or less beautiful or whatever. But we have to talk about these things, because this is what it is. And I don't see that. When I look at the three of you, I don't see, except maybe Chris here, but otherwise, I don't see beauty. I don't see more or less handsome, more or less beautiful, more or less good, more or less anything. I just see three human beings with three different types of body, types of hair, types of everything. This, for me, is a deep curiosity. It's also curious to think about, well, how is it that the people, things become politicized? Like, how is that? But that shouldn't take us away from the scientific exploration of the biology. Okay, cool? So we're going to do the scientific exploration of the biology, because body, it's the isness of it. And so that's what we want to talk about today. Okay? And just doing that can get a person, i.e., from my own experience then, reported to the Office of Hate because I dare to look at bodies. You know what I mean? And it's like, but this is the thing. It only takes one person. Everybody's cool, but one person. And this is the world that we're in, and this is the world that you all are in, by the way, right? You see something on Facebook or whatever, and it's just one person is all it takes to just make a conversation or make something go south. And so, it's all good. So I don't pay attention to one person. Okay. Are we ready for Top Hat? Lily says we're ready for Top Hat. That was like an open. You got it? Dude, killing it. That was like an opening monologue now. All right, so let's introduce. Dude, Andrew, let's start with you, man. Where are you from, and just something about yourself.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and I'm from Westchester, PA, and I'm studying sports administration.
What are you studying?
Management and sports administration.
Yeah. Are you hanging out with those ESPN guys and gals?
I hope so.
Yeah. You've been out there talking to them?
I've talked to one or two of them, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Okay. Sports administration. You play sports? You play baseball?
Yeah, I play baseball.
Yeah? All right. Raga.
Hi, I'm Raga. I'm like 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, in South Fayette. I don't know if anyone knows where that is. But I major in psychology.
Wait, what was that last thing?
I'm majoring in psychology.
Majoring in psychology?
Yeah.
And where's your family from?
India. I was born in India, but I immigrated here when I was like less than a year old.
Uh-huh.
So.
Cool. Where's your family from? Do you know?
Like Philly.
Philly? That's its own country. All right. Yo, Chris, how about you?
I'm Chris, junior. My major is film, and I'm from New York.
Your major's film?
Yeah.
Dude, we're going to recruit you for the dream team. Where's your family from?
My mom's from Barbados. My dad's from England.
From the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd they meet?
I don't know. I don't ask.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better not to ask, my friend. Can you go to the next slide? Hey, how is it that, so do you all of you know, how'd we, just like, what's your quick assessment of how we got to have these different features that we have? When you look at each other, like, how are we so different? Like, what happened? Anybody?
I mean, what they said in elementary school was like, adaptation. I think for like certain climates and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's all I know. I don't look into it though.
Adaptation to certain climate. All right, somebody else.
I mean, like we're all from like Africa, and we've originated from African women. And as we just emigrated out of Africa, we developed different features because of the climate. Like I know noses are different sizes because of how much air, like the humidity versus not humidity, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
So like our features are functional in different ways. So that's why we have different features.
Mm-hmm.
And like people from different areas of the world have different features, and they're similar features because that's what is suitable for that area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Dude, awesome, man. Andrew, how about you? What would you add to that?
Just random mutations that like made someone, I don't know, more attractive or like better at doing something, and then those stuck around over time.
Uh-huh. What's a random mutation? Like, what would that be?
So like if your genes changed, so like the first blue-eyed people, like I guess they came from people with like brown eyes first, and like it just stuck around.
Uh-huh. So what do you think about when you look in a mirror, Andrew? Like when like what do you see?
I mean, I'm usually looking at my hair, so like ginger hair, I guess, is the first thing I see.
Uh-huh. Ginger hair. Yeah. All right. What else? Like, how about your nose, man? Do you like your nose?
That's a little big.
What do you mean big?
I don't know. It's just like, it reminds me of like Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Wait, hang on. Can we look at, hang on. Can someone,
Like, it's
Green,
not that big, but like,
No, well, let's see. Turn your head to the right. Green's going to get a shot. We'll be the judge of that. No, wait, you got to go a little more to the right. Yeah, right there. Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. What do you think? Chris, what do you think, man? Is his nose big?
Wait. No, his nose not big. It's just pointy. I got a bigger nose than him.
Let's look at your nose. Dude, get a shot of Chris's nose. Yeah, look right at Green right there. No, wait, hang on. You got to put team. Yeah, there we go. All right, hang on. Get a nice close-up of Chris's nose. Turn to the side, actually. Turn like this way, that way. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. All right, hang on. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Can I touch your head? Are we good? All right, Mom. Right there. All right. Dude, hang on. Stay right there. Bro, turn to the right. Now, turn left, actually. Who has a pointier nose? Andrew? Wait, okay. All right, man. And Raga, how about you? Do you like your nose?
I mean, I don't not like my nose. I feel like my face would look weird if I had like a smaller nose, though. So I feel like it fits my features, like the rest of my face. I don't know. I don't not like it. Yeah.
Can we look at it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. Wait, did you get that? You got her nose? Chris, do you like your nose?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah? And bro, you're cool with your nose, but it's like, now that you hear the two
oh no,
of them
yeah,
are
I'm
like,
good with it. I just like, that's what it reminds me of.
yeah. All right. So, here are like a couple things, right? So the thing, there's an isness to all of this, right? So follow from what you said. Over time, human bodies are adapting to different, what all three of you said, right? Human bodies are adapting to different climates. Some of it is by selection, by things, people prefer certain body types or certain shapes of maybe a nose or whatever. Maybe somebody just happened to be in the right place at the right time to really reproduce their genes and like a nose that looked like yours or like Chris's or whatever. Or maybe there's just a genetic mutation, right, which you referenced, right, which could be just some kind of odd mutation that would just be something happens in the genes that just causes something to change. It just does. And then that genetic mutation gets passed on in that person's DNA. We all have mutations, right? That they don't get passed on, but some do. And then suddenly, like where you have like a whole family of people who maybe have a certain tick, right? Like maybe in their ear or something like that. Maybe it's like a little piece out of their ear. It's just like a strange thing, right? I don't even know what to call it. And but you see, like each person in that genetic line has that, and that's a mutation that just happened. It's like, oh my God, right? And so it's awesome. So anyway, the reason I asked about noses is because like our noses, like the rest of us, are the products of all of our ancestors. You of course you should like them because they are what our ancestors are. You know what I mean? Like if we didn't have like each of your noses is unique, right? And it mattered, and so that's helped your people to survive and to thrive and so on. So it's like it's okay, it's awesome, right? It's just what happens is when we come along and we start to say, hey, let's say maybe there's like an actor or something who, like, for whatever reason, people make fun of, and then you have a nose that's similar to that person, and then suddenly you feel some kind of way about it. And that's just like, but that's what we have to fight, right? That's like taking in other people's ideas. And so, what else, by the way? What else? How about, do you know why your nose is flatter and wider than her nose or than his nose? Do you have an idea?
I would assume because I was.
Wait, hang on one second. Hang on before you answer. Notice I didn't say flat. Your nose is flat and your nose is wide. Because on the basis of what? What's the standard? Like, here, is my nose the standard? Like, what's the standard? Like mine here, like right here, like is that it? Like, that's not the standard. There's no standard. There's not a white standard, there's not a black standard. Most standards, if we're going to find a standard, it would be someone of Asian ancestry. Because the standard would be the majority of people on earth. So we start right there, but there's no standard for anything. So I didn't say to Chris, like, hey, do you know why your nose is flat? Or do you know why your nose is wide? Because it's not flat and it's not wide. It only is compared to another nose. That's it. And so we have to always be thinking like that. But anyway, bro, do you know why your nose is flatter than Andrew's nose?
I mean, I don't know. Actually, I do know.
Go ahead, Mel. Give us your best shot.
I mean, we're different races, right?
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
Typically. I don't know.
Dude, that's an awesome answer, my friend. Do you know why your nose is more pronounced than Chris's nose or than Raga's nose? Do you have any idea?
I don't really know why. I know a lot of Italians have it though.
Yeah.
Which, it runs in our bloodline, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of stuff runs Italian bloodline. Raga, do you know? No.
About my nose?
Yeah, about Chris's nose.
I think it's just like varying climates. Like, I think the U.S. like colder regions are meant to have like smaller noses that are like skinnier because like the cold air, it like dries out a nose if it's like too big. So I that's what I think.
Dude, okay, awesome.
So like obviously like your ancestry is.
I know my mom's from Barbados. My dad's from England, but his mom is from Barbados. I don't know where his dad is. His dad's like.
Yeah. And
So
but they're from West Africa,
Yeah.
right? Barbados is a slave colony, so they're
Right.
from West Africa.
So
Uh-huh.
like humid areas or like hotter areas
Yep.
could
Okay.
have bigger noses.
Dude, could have flatter and wider,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's really important because what we're looking at, it's all relative to other features of our body. And so, here's the thing. When you're in a really the original noses on Homo sapiens, if we go back about 100 years, we all have kind of dark skin and we all have very similar noses, right? And the noses tend to be flatter. The noses of most people are going to be more like Chris's nose, a little flatter than my nose and wider than my nose. And the idea is because in human climates where people are weird. Is it weird being up here? Yeah. It's like sometimes I just look out and I'm like, fuck, like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very bizarre. All right. So what you want in really moist areas is you're taking the moisture into your lungs and you want to retain as much of it as you possibly can. So a flatter or wider nose is really good for that. In a cold climate, you ever be in the cold, when you're in the cold, the three of you, and you like breathe really deeply, like, and it really hurts. Like, okay, so you don't want that, right? So in a really cold climate, you want your nostrils to be really thin and really long, and it warms the air before the air gets down into your lungs. Okay? In a really dry climate, we see the noses that are most pronounced away from the body. And for some reason, what that does is that allows in these dry climates to retain as much moisture in the lungs as you possibly can, which is where you want the moisture in your lungs in a really dry climate. And so like what we see in those areas are people with really pronounced noses that are not They're not large enough. They're pronounced. I mean, however you want to say it, the key is just not to have that level, just have the level of scientific analysis and not judgment. And so it's like, awesome. You know what I mean? All right. So here's the deal, you all, right? You said that first, Homo sapiens we see first emerging in Africa, right? So go back one. And so see the red up here. I don't have a... Yeah, can you guys see that? So right about here in this Nilotic region, right around Ethiopia, and we see human beings starting to cross over and go. And traveling all these distances and around here and crossing the Bering Strait and going into the Americas, right? The original peoples, all right? So now, as you move to different areas, you encounter different climates and you encounter different conditions, and the body is going to adapt to those conditions, which is what we're already talking about, which is awesome. If the people whose bodies did not adapt to their conditions, their lineage died out. So they're not here. They didn't survive. They died out. They're not around anymore, right? All the children they would have had, they never had because their bodies didn't adapt. Okay, can you go to the next slide? So, which one's Navajo, meaning American Indian from the Southwest? Which one is Peruvian and which one is Han Chinese? And Han Chinese is the main ethnic group in China. What would you say if you look at those? Can you see them, Chris? What do you think? Go ahead. Raga, who do you think?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think Navajo is top left.
Uh-huh.
Peruvian might be bottom. Chinese right.
Uh-huh. Andrew, what do you think?
I would agree with those.
Which one did you say is Peruvian?
Bottom left.
What do you think?
I go to the top. Top one.
The top one is what?
Peruvian,
Peruvian? Okay.
but I'm just guessing.
And the Chinese person? Chinese woman?
Probably on the bottom.
Bottom right? Why do you say that? What makes the top left look Peruvian?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what Peruvian is. I'm just guessing. I'm assuming the bottom right one is Chinese, and then
And why the bottom right? What is it about her that makes her look Chinese?
I think it's the wider face.
Yeah.
But that's it.
They all look really they look so similar to me. Andrew, do they look different? How similar do they look to you?
They look pretty similar to me, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, go back, right? So here it is. So we're starting right here with the genetics, the people with genetic admixture right here. Okay, so this is Han Chinese, traveling over the Bering Strait and populating the Americas. So here's Navajo down in here, and here's Peru right here. Right, so they have very similar genetic lineage, right? So they're the same people. They're all descended from the same people. Go, Nidhi, yeah. So if you look at them, they're really very, very similar. Okay, let's look at this next one. Next slide. Who's American? Chris, we're going to start with you. Which one's American? Well, now only one is American. It's not a trick question.
B.
B?
Yeah.
What makes you say B?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know. The other ones, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
They could be though.
All right. Go ahead. Andrew, how about you?
I think it's B too because he's not bundled up like he's up in the cold, which would make me think he's more of a Native American from Arizona, New Mexico type of area.
He's not, by the way. Okay, so now that I just said that, he's inside and next to a fire.
So it's not B?
I'm just saying, he's inside next to a fire. So
I still think it's him, but I
All
don't
right.
know.
Okay. Raga, how about you?
I mean, like any one of these people could really be American.
Uh-huh.
We're like a country made of immigrants. So, and it looks like there might be Native Americans up there. So they were here before us. So any
Okay.
one of them
All right, so
could
here.
be American. I don't know.
Nini, go back. Go back. So here, one more. So look at this map here, right? So one group is from right here, and that makes them Siberian, okay? And Siberia is part of Russia. Russia is a European country, so they're Europeans in a weird way. Of course, they're not, but they are. And the other, the American, whoever the American is, from right here, and so they have the exact same DNA. So go forward. So they have the exact same DNA, basically, right? I mean, if we look at them, they're kind of the same person, right? In a certain sense, right? And so this one, she's American, and the rest are Siberian, right? And so this idea, when we're looking at features, we can't be looking just at like nations and continents and things. We have to be thinking about all of these factors and forces, right? A person's race, the biological features, our culture, our ancestry, our genealogy, our genetics, right? So they're from very different cultures, very different people, to identified as different races, so to speak. But they're the exact same people. Just, one lives here and one lives there, right? And so this is happening all the time. And so we also see people like the three of you who look very different, but in fact are very, very similar. In fact, you all share 99.99% of your DNA. Like there's only a small part of your DNA that is responsible for your external features. And as a result of that, it's like science plays a trick on us because you're the same. If you look down here, y'all, like they are the same genetically. There's essentially the same. There's a very tiny percentage of their DNA admixture that is connected to their external features. And so science, like life itself, plays this trick. God, I don't know, whatever you want to say, plays a trick because we're the same, but we look at you and we think, oh, you're so incredibly different. And then we want to find all these ways in which, your physical differences turn into sociological differences and one thing after another, but we're essentially the same. All right, so go to the next piece. So we talked about noses. Can we talk about eyes? Could we get a volunteer who has dude, could you volunteer? You feel like volunteering? Yeah. Are you cool? All right, man, come on. We can stand over here. Well, hang on. Wait, can you take the camera over there and get a shot of him? Here, what's your name?
Brian.
Brian? Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
From Chicago?
Yeah.
What's your ancestry?
I'm Chinese.
And were you born here or in China?
I was born in China.
In China?
Yeah.
Where in China?
Dude, my mind just went blank.
Oh, dude, doesn't matter. China.
Somewhere
You were born
there.
it's better to not know where you're born, my friend. You were hatched, just say you're hatched from an egg. All right, Brian. Here, just get right behind. Okay, so listen. Get a shot of him. Can you pick Brian up on yellow on the screen, the overhead? Brian, I want you to look at them. The camera will. Brian. Andrew, Raga, Chris. Andrew. Look at his eyes. Can you shut up? Okay, so hang on. This is a moment, right? We're going to look at Brian's eyes, and we're going to compare them to Raga's eyes, or how about my eyes? We'll compare your eyes to my eyes, okay? So are we cool? Can we look at your eyes?
Yeah.
Like, do you
No.
feel like you're an object if we just look at your eyes?
It's okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
So okay, class, you got that? He doesn't feel like an object, so you don't have to turn me into the office of hate for objectifying him, right? It's all good. Hey, we good there? All right. So, Andrew, tell us about his eyes, man. What do you know about his eyes?
Well, they're very dark. It's hard to tell the difference between his pupils and the color of his eyes.
Uh-huh.
I feel like they're very similar, very brown.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
I mean, they're a little more squinted than yours.
Dude. Okay, awesome, man. Hang on. Did you catch what Andrew just said? First off, here, you can turn around for a second. Dude, I'm going to back you up here. Did you notice that the first thing he said about Brian's eyes is that they're dark? Okay? Cool, easy. But I didn't choose Brian. I chose Brian for a reason. I didn't choose this. Dude, can you stand up really fast? This guy, turn around. He has dark eyes too, but I didn't choose him. They're not really that dark, but go with me. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, when you said then you said, well, and you had that look. And I'm going to bail you out here, right? It's all, not bail you out, like I'm going to support you. But he said, okay, they're a little more squinted. Like, that's the thing. Why were you reluctant to say that?
Because if I said they're squinty, I'd get in trouble and I would look down upon everyone and think I'm like racist or something.
Racist for saying
Somebody has squinty eyes.
squinty. How do you, okay, squinty eyes. Compared to his eyes, bro, how do you define your eyes compared to his eyes or my eyes?
I'd probably say the same thing. Mine's are like smaller, more squinty.
Mm-hmm. How do you say it? Do you speak Mandarin?
Yeah.
How do you say it in Mandarin? How do you say squinty in Mandarin?
Oh, I have no idea.
Dude, normal. No, you know what the word is? Normal eyes. You have normal eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if we're in China, I'm the one that doesn't have like Andrew and I are the ones that stand out. You see what I mean? Like we're going to be around all sorts of people who look like you, and we're going to stand out. Like we're going to be the objects, like not the objects, but we're going to be the ones on the outside of the average normal curve. You're right now on the outside of the average normal curve just because we're here at Penn State. But if we're in Beijing, then it's very different, right? Okay, so what's the politically correct word to use? What's the not squinty? Like what's the? Wait, hang on. Do you guys know? What's the politically correct word to use? You're a black guy, so you should know all the politically correct things, bro.
I thought it was slanted, but I could be wrong. Never mind.
What's that?
I thought it was slanted, but I don't know.
Slanted? Yeah? Is that what?
Wait, no.
No, I don't know, dude. Hey, don't
don't
be
know.
racist, my friend. Don't say any racist shit about Chinese people. So, like, what do you think it would be?
I don't know then. I thought it was that. I don't know that.
All right, okay. See, hey, white people, did you notice? The black guy doesn't know either. So it's okay for you not to know. Are we good with that? Like it's just like, that's effing funny, isn't it? You got that? You get it, right, bro? White people, do you get that? Like, you don't have to know. You know what I mean? Black people don't know either. Like, just lighten the F up a little bit. It's all right. We're all good. Raga, you shouldn't know. I don't know why you would know, by the way.
I don't really know either. Smaller? Like, I don't.
You don't know either?
Yeah.
Okay, you said, in English, you said squint. You said squinty, kind of?
Squinty or like smaller.
Okay. Dude, are you comfortable up here? You're good, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Wait, hang on. Can you take him a chair? Bro, you had an answer?
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say slender.
Slender? All right. All right. You can, yeah, just have a seat, bro. What's the politically correct word for Brian's? All right, here we go.
I'd say his eyes are narrower than mine.
Narrower. Okay. Is that what you were going to say? What are you going to say?
I was going to say epithelial fold.
So what's that?
Epithelial fold.
Yeah, the epicanthic, he has an epicanthic fold. Were you going to say that? What were you going to say?
They're more almond-like or like monolids.
More almond-like. Okay. All right. Got it. Dude, Brian, you got that? More almond-like. Do you know what an epicanthic eye fold is? Do you know what the epicanthic eye fold is?
No.
Dude, of course you don't. Because, like, you know, do you guys know what it is? Do you know what it is? Well, hang on.
I think is this on?
Yep.
Okay. I think it's just like from like a makeup perspective. I know like they don't have a fold, so they don't have to like, they don't have like a creased eye. I
Yeah.
guess. Isn't that what it is?
No, so here, no.
Like there's no like, it doesn't fold up into the crease. That's what.
Yeah, okay, yes and
Right.
no. All right, bro, so now, listen, man, now we gotta, your eye, not you, my friend, not you, but your eye is gonna be an object for a second. Are we cool with that? Yeah. Dude, it's gonna be so much of an object that I might actually use my pen to point something out. All right, here, stand up. So, can Green get a nice close-up of his eyes? So, look. So there's a fold in the eye. This is actually really, are there any people of Central African ancestry, South Central African in here that have an epicanthic eye fold also? Anybody? Because it's really common in Africa. It's not just in parts of Asia. It's also not all over Asia, by the way. It's just only in parts of Asia. Are there any Africans in here that have an eye fold? I'm sure there are. If I looked around, I would find somebody. It's not so pronounced in West Africans. So there are a lot of West Africans in here. It's not so pronounced. But when we go into Central Africa and South Central Africa, but listen, there's a fold. Man, oh, damn, this is really hard. Can you get a better close-up? Can you get it, like, closer? All right, there we go. Hang on. Let it. Get it. Okay. So dude, we good right here? Yeah. You're not an object, right? Got it? He's not an object. Don't report me to the Office of Hate, okay? So right here, close your eyes and I'll do it. Right in this inside part, there's a little fold right there that just flaps down. It's just a little tiny flap. And it just, in his eye, and now, can you see my eye? Right in this part of my eye? I don't have that flap right in there. And what that means is that it just pulls his eyelid down a little bit. Just a little bit, not very much, right? But just a little bit. And what that means is then his eye is a little more almond shaped than my eye, but our eyes are exactly the same. Like if you look at our skulls, our eye sockets are the same. It looks the same. It's shaped the same. Everything is the same. But it's just that little fold right there and the little fold in me. It's awesome. Okay, man. Have a seat in a second. All right, Chris. Now we're gonna see if you can redeem yourself. You know why he has an epicanthic eye fold?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, like why?
Yeah. Why would some people have that?
No clue.
Andrew, do you know?
Does it have something to do with like humidity?
No, I don't think so. Right. Do you have an idea? You're the one with all the answers, Raga. You got to have this one.
I don't have the answers to this.
You don't have it? Do you know
No.
what? You don't know why, right? Okay, so listen. So there are a couple, the original thinking about this is that, and there are Europeans with an epicanthic eye fold as well. Like it's not, and again, this is just the nature of this thing, right? This is what makes this stuff so cool. Like none of us are objects, you know what I mean? Like none of it doesn't matter. We're all just doing our thing. We have these really awesome bodies, and these bodies look differently in lots of different ways, and it's just awesome. It's cool, right? It's really cool. So look, a lot of people hypothesized for a long time that people in like really windy, arid regions had this fold, because people didn't have eye protection, right? For 100,000 years of people without eye protection. And so therefore you got to figure out how to protect the eyes. And so the narrower the opening in the eye, the more protection you're going to have. It's like having glasses, you know what I mean? But people started to really wonder whether that was true, and it may have happened in a particular population of people that was true, and then that population really expanded, and then that fold was selected for evolutionarily in lots of subpopulations of people, and then suddenly it became really dominant. And then people started to question whether that was true. Like maybe it's just like it's a genetic mutation that just kind of happened, and then it just became really dominant, meaning just an accidental mutation. Like we don't really know. And then it could be something that people selected for on the basis of attractiveness. That people thought that eye in some people was really attractive. And then there it is. So we don't fully know, but we have certain hypotheses for a lot of this stuff. It's cool, right? Dude, awesome, man. Any questions? Do any of you have a question for Brian? Andrew, you have a question. I know you do, man.
I really don't have a question right now.
Yeah? Raga, do you have one? Raga does.
I mean, like, I had a lot of Asian friends growing up. Like, obviously, I'm Asian. I meant, like, East Asian. And they always felt like they were, like people would comment on it. And, like, it wasn't something they liked about themselves. So I was just wondering, like, how you felt about it.
Oh, my God. That is such a cool question. Bro, here it is. How do you feel about your eyes?
Yeah, some people like say it to me like as a joke, like just for fun. Like I know they're joking, so I don't really mind. But for the most part, like I don't really care. Like it's whatever.
Wait, what's the joke though? Like, what? I'm not understanding. What would be an example of a joke?
Like tiny eyes.
Like tiny eyes?
Yeah,
Who says that?
my girlfriend.
Dude. Bro, man, at least it's just tiny eyes. All right, so you're all right. So, hang on a second. Dude. Hang on. Hold on a second, man. Wife, are you watching the live stream? Okay. No, good. I just said something. I wanted to know if I was gonna be divorced. All right, I'll talk to you later. I need to hear someone tell my wife what I said. Dude, go ahead. You tell her what I said. Who's gonna tell her?
My girlfriend calls me tiny eyes sometimes.
Yeah. This is Brian. Brian's in my class. Brian. No, I didn't say what I call you. But then what did I say in response? At least what?
I don't remember.
Oh, dude, that's better. What did he say? Well, do you remember what I said? Oh, God. What I said was, at least he only calls you tiny eyes. At least it's just your eye. Okay. All right, Lord. All right. All right, I'll see you, man. All right, ciao. All right, ciao. Fuck. All right. Listen, man. First off, what's the joke, though? Okay, but that's your girlfriend. So your girlfriend can call you a lot of things, right? What's the joke, though? I'm not understanding. Because, can I just say something to the class and then I want you may or may not believe this, but I look at each human being as its own unique body. Like, I don't have standards for beauty at all. Like, I don't look at someone and be like, oh, that person's really attractive. You will never hear me say, never, my whole life I've not said this. I've not looked at certain people and been like, oh, that person's really pretty, or that person's really handsome, or whatever. Like, I don't see that. I don't have preferences. I don't notice it. It doesn't, it's like, it doesn't, all I see are souls, right? Spirits inside of bodies. And the bodies are just these awesome vessels that mostly move around, are ambulatory, and are just awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. So when someone makes a joke like that, I don't know what the joke could possibly be about your eyes. So what would the joke be about? Like, what would people say?
I mean, there really isn't like a joke. It's just like,
They just
hey,
point it
tiny
out.
eyes or something.
Or they call you, they just reference your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so here's the other thing about that, right? When you are the minority in a population of people, like when I'm in Haiti, for example, right? And I'm with my friends in Haiti, and I'm like, I am the only. One time I spent about 10 days in Haiti, and I'm telling you, I did not see another single white person in 10 days. It's just like, I am the blanc. I am the white guy. And like, when you have those experiences, you start to realize that this isn't pointing things out about people, just doesn't make any sense because you understand the nature of being minoritized or being that person who really stands out in a certain situation. And so yeah, I don't even get the jokes. I don't even know why you would pick certain things out like that. I don't get it. But in any case, dude. All right. Good for you. Thanks for participating. Dude. All right, man. So let's see where we're going to go next. So we already talked about lips, right? Talked about noses. We did eyes. Body type. How about that? Do you know tall and thin versus short and squat? Do you have any ideas why that is?
I mean, maybe in different places they had to hunt different type of game or like climb trees or like run longer. So like a tall, slender body would be more useful for like running after game versus like a smaller body for like climbing trees. I don't know.
No. That's a good guess. People say that a lot, but no. But that's cool. Do you have an idea? Or Chris, do one of you have an idea? Short and squat versus tall and thin.
I mean, I don't really know. I think I just always thought like maybe like diet, but like that doesn't explain like the height. I just thought that was a little more like random, but then like I thought like thin versus
So we're not looking at individuals, right? So like if I look at in this classroom, if I look at just West Africans and like nobody else, I just take Central West African genetics, which would be most African Americans as well, right? Because most African American, it's going to be mirror the same genetics. We're going to have an average body shape, right? By height and width and so on, and weight and that kind of thing. And then if I take people from the islands in Micronesia, we're going to have another body shape, right? So we're not looking at individuals within, like India, for example, right? Chris, do you have an idea? Short and squat versus tall and thin?
Not really again.
Dude, see that? This is amazing, man. And there's sometimes I hear on campus from like black students will say, I didn't learn anything in Social 119. So you won't be able to say that. You'll never be able to say that because you're learning all sorts of shit today, my friend. All right, so listen. Tall and thin allows the body to really dissipate heat. And so when we see really hot climates and arid climates, the heat, it really can lose heat pretty quickly. Short and squat really retains heat. And so, the shorter you are, the squatter you are, especially if you're really wide, and you know this, right? You have friends and people we know that, people really hold heat more. And so you need that, right? If you're really tall and thin and your people have migrated to a really cold climate, you didn't last. The tall thin people didn't survive. Only the people that were short and squat, right? Same with facial features, right? So if you go back to the Siberians, we'll go back one right there. If you notice these people, they tend to have, you don't see it so pronounced in the guy in B, but they tend to have more fat on their cheekbones and right on their faces, and that's really just to retain heat. You're going to see that. So you're going to see more puffier faces as opposed to really thin, bony structure on the faces, because you have to retain that heat, man. That's really, really important. Frostbite, the whole 9 yards. It's cool, isn't it? Shit. Okay. Hey, can you go one more? Do one more slide. No, hang on. We're gonna come back. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have a question?
I mean, yeah, when your wife asked if we know what you call her, I'm kind of interested in that. But like, I don't know if that's.
I hang on. I don't know. I can't, it's amazing I'm still married, actually. Here, you turn your mic off and you can just ask her. And then you can tell the class. If she'll tell you, just say like, hey, put it up to your, I didn't put the speakerphone on. Just tell her who you are and you're calling to ask. Anybody have a question? Anyone have a question about any of this stuff? Anybody? Dude, does he have a question? Do you have a question, bro? No? Do you have a question? Anyone have a question about any of this stuff? Anyone want to ask it? All right, man. Did she pick up? Hey, man, can I ask you a question? No, I won't. All right. Hey, we're going to do skin color next, okay? We ready? Skin color? Cool. Bro, do you actually have a question? Dude. Bro, can you hand that back?
So you said that people in warmer climates are thin and tall to dissipate heat. Is that correct?
Yeah, mostly. Listen, it's not true across the board, right? Because you understand. So here's the thing that you really need to keep in mind. Populations, the migration out of Africa occurred over long periods of time. And so there are these different waves of migrations. And so you have this population of people that come out of Africa and they go to a certain area of the world, and then their bodies adapt in a particular way. But let's say 30,000 years later, there's another out-migration coming out of Africa, and their bodies are going to adapt slightly differently, right? So that's why you can see, I'll show you a slide. Here, hang on one second. Can you go to this slide? Go to that one right there. Yeah. So, hang on. I'm gonna go a little further. So these are these are peoples from the maritime Southeast Asia, and they're basically people from the Philippines. And so the people on the top left, can you guys see this? Can you see? Did you get your answer, by the way?
Yes.
What did I call her?
That she has no lips.
Oh,
or
yeah.
very, very tiny lips.
She has no lip at all.
Yes.
She has lips. If I open her mouth and pull her lips back, I can see them, but she has no lips. Yeah. So I'm not. So all right. So that's cool. All right. Now. So listen. So the people in the top left are negritos. Can you go back actually to the map? Back the other map. Okay, right here. So watch this, you all. Right. So here, this is where we're looking at, right in here. Okay. So now, so coming out of Africa, down around here, right in here. Okay, this is this. Okay, now go back to the slide. Okay, so maritime Southeast Asia. These are what the reference to this group is negritos, and negro is a Spanish word for black, and when you say negrito, it means little black guy, right? So, but the issue, so like we wouldn't say that today. That would be like considered a racist term. You know what I mean? But this is the word. Of course, they don't call themselves negritos because that's a word that came in from the outside. So each of these populations of people have different words. But the word that's settled upon in the anthropological community of all these populations of black people with tightly coiled hair is negritos, right? But these are people of Philippine ancestry as well, of indigenous ancestry in the Philippines. So here we have two very different peoples, right, who look very differently, right? So this goes to what you're saying. They're all in the same region, but they look very differently. How do they have such different bodies? Because their ancestors moved out of Africa at different times, and they just adapted to their environment in different ways. And for whatever reason, we have these populations of people who sustained their Central African, what we identified as Central African features, right, bro? Like, meaning that they're going to look a lot more like Chris than look like Raga. And then other people down here are going to look a little more like Raga, or they look very different from you, than they would look like Chris. Okay, bro. So now, question.
So I'm not thinking of later migrations or later groups that immigrated to other places, because I don't think the features you talked about, like the nose and the eyelid, would happen nowadays, because a person in Beijing and a person in Africa, they all live under an AC like house.
Yep.
So these features wouldn't evolve in their bodies.
Okay, go ahead. Hey, can you put him on the screen, by the way? Dream team. All right. So go ahead. Just say that last piece again.
So I wasn't wondering about like later migration, later in history, but the earlier ones, because the later migrations, they wouldn't develop these changes in facial features or body features.
Very quickly.
Especially nowadays, if someone immigrated from, say, from Africa to Asia, they wouldn't develop this eyelid feature because they live under an AC unit in
exactly.
an apartment building.
No, it's totally different. Yep.
Yeah.
Or now you're from the Middle East, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So right. So if you migrate to, a really northern climate, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids, your great-great-great-grandkids aren't going to look any different than you look. That's not going to happen. It'll probably never happen at this point. Although human beings all over the planet we're getting browner, meaning that what lighter-skinned people are getting darker, and really darker-skinned, more darkly pigmented skinned people are getting lighter, and more lightly pigmented skinned people are getting darker. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It's about seeing these movements of people from lots of different ways. Yeah. Here, you can pass the microphone down to the. Okay, listen, man. Ready? Andrew. Wait. No, let's go with Raga. Why does Andrew have? What? Can you explain his skin color versus Chris's? Just like, why does he have lighter skin than Chris? Like, what happened?
I mean, I guess like your ancestors moved to like a colder climate, and they needed like the features to survive in that area. So although we're all like from Africa, like your ancestors needed something different than Chris' ancestors.
Like, okay, but why skin? Like, what does skin do? Chris, do you know? Why is your skin more darkly pigmented than his?
Pretty sure it's because it's like closer to the equator, right? It was warmer.
Okay.
The sun was more exposed, and for him, the ancestors were like up north, so colder. I don't think the sun was out there like that.
So you think it has something to do with the sun?
Yeah, like heat and like.
Okay. Bro, do you know? Do you have anything to add to it?
I mean, I can guess again, like maybe darker skin's more like a natural sunscreen so that the UV rays don't affect it as much as lighter skin, and maybe lighter skin's better at absorbing like vitamin D or something from the sun because we see less sun.
Dude, just leave it to the white guy. See what I mean? It's Chris. Now, you mean you learned something from a white student? You know what I mean? Like, damn, it's amazing. All right, so go further. What about?
What about
the UV? How does dark skin do that? Like, what's the mechanism for that?
Probably the melatonin in it, because isn't that
melanin?
Melatonin makes you go to sleep.
No, that's all right. Dude, it's the same thing. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Maybe the melanin absorbs like the UV rays, and since there's so many more down closer to the equator, like it takes more of that to absorb it, and that's what makes the skin darker.
Okay, I got it. Hey, by the way, when he said melatonin, why did people laugh at that? Did I miss something? Is that like a funny thing? I'm not being a dick. I'm really wanting to know. Is there something funny in that? Did we miss it? He just said, oh, okay, so it's just funny that you screwed up. Yeah, all right. But whatever. Dude, you're up here in front of all these people and the cameras. My wife's watching now. Like, oh, shit. Okay. So here's the idea. right? You basically got it. So here's the idea. Human beings, so we're walking, we start walking upright about 5 million years ago. We start losing our hair about 1.1 to 1.2 million years ago. And, when you're out in really hot climates, and where we're talking about, by the way, is in this region here. And if you've ever been, I know at least one of you is from Ethiopia, so right in here. But is anybody else from this Nilotic region right in here? Anybody else? Anybody like who's Somali or Sudanese or anything, or Ethiopian? Okay, so it's really hot. And so somehow the body's got to manage losing hair, and the skin is our largest organ on our body, and it's really dangerous to get UV rays. This isn't like a new thing, sunburn and getting too many UV rays and so on and so forth. This isn't just it's not a new thing. It's forever. And so the body produces a certain protection from the sun, and it's this melanin. But it has the property of turning the skin darker. And so what we see are people in this area around the equatorial region, but especially in here, but all around, we see darker skin. It evolved, right? So it's people to hold on to their darker skin. So going back 100,000 years, everyone basically had dark skin. And skin that was more the color of, say, the two of you, right? I mean, because you have, different skin tones, but more the color of the two of you than Andrew and I. Like our skin didn't even exist in the world 100,000 years ago, okay? And so everything's good, right? But people are getting lots of sun because people aren't wearing clothes. They're not wearing hoodies and T-shirts and hats and stuff. So people are getting lots of sun, which means their bodies are making a lot of vitamin D, which you mentioned, right? Which is awesome. So sun's hitting us, vitamin D, we've got the calcium going, everything is good. We're being protected from the UV rays. But then people migrate north, and they go up in here where there's less sun. And now you got a problem, right? Because now you've got all this, you need, not only do you get less sun, and you got this dark skin that's protecting you, that's keeping you from synthesizing, making vitamin D that you really need. But the more you go north, the more people are wearing heavier clothing, and they're covering up all their bodies. And so now you got a real problem here, because people in the northern hemispheres aren't getting nearly enough sun. So therefore, their skin lightens. So like Andrew and I, so suddenly it becomes lighter skin like ours is really important in the north, because we have to take advantage of every little bit of sun that we can get all year round. And so then we see the body change, right? And he and I are producing much less melanin. And so it's a different kind of world. So, dude, Chris, what's it better? This is a trick question, my friend. Better to have dark skin or light skin? Is it better to have darker skin or lighter skin?
You personally, or you got like technically?
No. No, not you personally. People, human beings. Speak for the world. Is it better to have lighter skin or darker skin?
I would assume if you said we all started off.
Hold it close.
If we all started off with darker skin and then we moved north and got lighter, if everyone had darker skin, I'm assuming darker skin is better, right?
But think about what I just said.
Oh, when they moved, okay. I don't know. Personally, I think I'm gonna go with darker because it is pretty warm. But I don't know.
Dude, with climate change coming at us, probably darker skin's a better thing to have. But nonetheless, what would you say? Is it better to have darker skin or lighter skin?
I mean, if you have darker skin and you live here like me, I don't get very much vitamin D.
Yep.
So that's not a good thing.
Okay.
So, but we have vitamin D supplements now.
Yeah.
So
you're all right.
Yeah.
But do you ever think, like, why aren't there are a lot of PSAs, public services announcements, for people like Andrew, right? How many times do you hear wear sunscreen?
Yeah, I don't get sunburned.
You don't get sunburned.
Yeah.
Are there PSAs aimed at you and Chris that say, hey, in the wintertime in State College, y'all, those of you with more darkly pigmented skin, you need to get out and get as much sun as you possibly can, or take supplements because like you really need that sun. You need those UV rays. Have you seen those PSAs?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Where do you see them?
I mean, I'm just told to go out, get rays.
Just go get the rays. Are you told? Were you told that, like in New York, or like when you come up here? Because it's really cloudy
No,
up here.
I went to the. My mom took me to the doctor and it said I have a vitamin D deficiency, so I have to take like supplements and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't be taking it.
No, listen. Yeah, exactly. Because this is a really key thing. So the trick of the question, by the way, and we're gonna do the top hat in 1 second. 1 second. Here, by the way, the key is, the reason I asked the question, is it better to have more darkly pigmented or lightly pigmented skin? Is it, yo, this is really important. Depends on where you are. If you're in an area where you're not getting very much sun and it's really hard for you to take advantage of what little bit of sun exists, then you probably want as light a skin as you possibly can have. But if you're in an area where you're gonna get a lot of sun, you're gonna be in the sun, then darker skin is awesome, right? Like awesome, because you're gonna be protected. Like you can get skin cancer. You can get skin cancer, but I'm more likely to get it. So you're like, okay, it's all good. It's just whatever skin you have is the best skin to have, first off, but just wherever you are, it's all good. Hey, by the way, thanks you all. Can you put top hat? Did you guys have fun? Did you enjoy it? All right. Yo, listen, while you're doing the top hat right now, can I just say the following? I'm going to be parental with you really fast. It's a crazy weekend. Just, you don't have to be all crazy. Just relax a little bit. It's all good. And, yeah, all right, dude. Thanks, man.